Hi there, Mike here. Hey, you know what I hate? I hate getting lost in the woods. Luckily for me, I live in the modern era where I have access to an absolute litany of hiking and backpacking specific navigational apps for me to use right here on my telephone. How convenient. The question is, which one is going to be right for me? And more importantly, which one is going to be right for you? Today, we're going to find out because I've tried out the top 3 hiking and backpacking specific navigational apps on the market, and they are AllTrails Plus, OnX Backcountry, and Strava. And I've weighed the ups and the downs and the ins and the outs of each to determine which one is better, and I've discovered that they are all great. They all do the same basic thing. They allow you to search for trails, and they allow you to navigate once you're on those trails. Outside of that, it's the finer features of each that really distinguish them and might gear them towards a specific audience. I will say we're going to be looking at the paid versions of these apps because there's a couple free versions of a couple of these apps, but they don't offer something that I think is extremely mission crucial to what we do, and that's the ability to download offline maps, which means that you can download a map and then you can use it whenever you're out of cell phone service. And I think that's very, very important because we all know the coolest trails are oftentimes very, very far away from the nearest cell phone towers. That's kind of the whole point, right? Yeah. I'm also kind of taking a 10,000 foot view here. I'm not going to list every single detail of every single app because then we'd be here for an hour and nobody wants to look at me for an hour. So, yeah, let's jump into it. So let's talk about the first one. This is AllTrails Plus. AllTrails is so user-friendly that it's easy to see why it's so incredibly popular. There's all sorts of comments and reviews on certain trails. People upload photos. I saw this guy. So what AllTrails has that makes it really stick out above the other apps is it has something called Wrong Turn Alert. Basically what it does is you program your trail into the app. You say, hey, this is what I'm going to hike, and you go out and you're hiking. And if you wander off trail too far, bzz, bzz, your phone is going to buzz and it's going to let you know, hey, doofus, you're going in the wrong direction. So something else we can do here is we can use the live share button here to send our location to a select number of contacts that we can import into the app, and they'll be able to see a real-time map of where we are on the trail as well as get notifications about our progress. Next, we've got Strava, and this is kind of the weird one, I think. I knew of it before just from road biking and mountain biking and running. It's very popular among athletes. Lots of distance athletes use Strava. And Strava is known for being kind of a pseudo social media app. You post your long runs, you post your mountain biking adventures, it records the data from your trip, and it saves those, and you can easily share that information with other people who are also on the app. You can have friends, and you can send people private messages. It's kind of like a community building tool as well as a workout tracker. There's also hiking functionality on top of this. So it works kind of like the running or the cycling functionalities. You look for a route, or in this case, you look for a trail, and you hit the trail, and then it records your time, and you can share that information with others. Strava does have a route building tool that we can use to make our own little routes. Say we wanted to hop off the highway here, and we wanted to hike along this trail. Boom, look at that. So this is something that AllTrails Plus does have, but it's not included in the app. I think you have to use the desktop version for it. It's not super robust. You can tell that it was designed mainly for running, which is going to be extremely useful if you're charting a course around city streets. But it's simple, it's easy to use, although not as detailed as an app that we're going to get into in just a second. Where AllTrails Plus had live share, Strava has something called Beacon, which is very similar. It's a way to send out your location to friends and family and really anybody who you want to be able to see where you are and what you're doing. Strava is very open. It's all about communication and connection and dunking on your friends, too, let's be honest. If you can crush a hike much faster than Steven and you want him to know it, then you put it on Strava. And finally, you've got OnX Backcountry. This is the one that I use. I like OnX Backcountry a lot. this isn't just an app that allows you to look for trails that other people have made and then select which one you want to do. This is an app where you chart your own course, sort of like a little cartographer in your pocket. It's something that allows you to go out on the trail and set your own routes. It allows you to hop from one trail to the next. It's very useful when we're making the TV show, because when we're making the show, we might be on this section of the trail here, and then we'll jet off here, and then we'll go over here, and then we'll jet off there, and we'll go over there. Skip all over the place. And OnX allows us to manage that a little bit easier. It has a lot of really nice functionality, like point-to-point measuring, so you can tell how far something is as the crow flies. It's a little less approachable than AllTrails and Strava at first glance, but once you learn how to dig through it and actually use it, you'll find that it's pretty user-friendly. So one thing I like about this is it gives me the ability to specify the region of my downloadable map. So I can zoom in, I can zoom out, I can download more of the region or less of the region, and I can choose the satellite imagery detail here at the bottom. If I choose low detail, I can make a huge map that's not going to have as much detail. And if I choose high detail, then now the map is going to be significantly bigger, but it'll include a lot more satellite detail. In addition to hiking, OnX has functionality for mountain biking, skiing, and climbing, which allows you to view trails and routes for each of those individual sports. So in conclusion, I'd say that AllTrails is a really good bet for just about anybody who needs an app for more casual hiking and backpacking. You're not doing anything crazy. You're just looking for good trails to get on, and you're out there hitting the woods. Strava it doesn't have quite as many features as the other two, not specific to hiking and backpacking, but it does offer that gamification if that's something that you're interested in. There is the social media element to it. I'd say Strava is great if, in addition to hiking, you also do cycling and you also do running, because now you've got an app that kind of does everything. And if you're going to use it for those two sports, why not throw hiking in there as well? Then you've got OnX Backcountry, which is a bit more hardcore. It's less of a friendly little app, and it's more of a cartography and route planning tool. It's very useful, it's very utilitarian, and it's what I prefer. So that's pretty much it. I hope that cleared some things up. Have you all had experiences with any of these apps? Have you had experiences with all of these apps? If so, talk to me about it down here. Let people know your thoughts. Agree with me, disagree with me, put it down here. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.